Hello. I was on the Agile Change Agent course with Joanna a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about the usefulness of the Agile Roadmap, how you can take any change or transformation and divide it into iterations, waves, stages, tranches, whatever you want to call it, but chunks of change. Maybe those iterations or even increments are 6 to 14 weeks long because they have to be long enough for you to be able to have some kind of shift in capability. But what we got talking about was how that roadmap concept of chunking things up is important for keeping people motivated and making them feel as if they are having achievements. And Joanna's just going to share some of the things that she does using exactly the same ideas. But it's just nice to hear from somebody else. So over to you, Joanna.
Yeah, so exactly that, Melanie. We're delivering some large transformations that across our organisation, the National Institute for Health Research, and they're going to take a number of years to deliver the vision that we're trying to achieve. We know where we are now, we know the vision that we're trying to achieve, and our roadmap takes us on that journey effectively. It draws out kind of the key milestones along that path to get from where we are now to our vision of the future. And that roadmap that we have at the moment is for a couple of years plus. What we then have is each quarter we then look at, so we know at a high level what we need to do in that quarter. Then each quarter we come together, so we're talking here about usually a 12 to 13 week piece, as you were describing. We come together and we plan that work out by sprints or increments, 2 week increments, and making sure that in each of those quarters and in those smaller pieces, in those 2 week sprints, that there are kind of clear deliverables and outputs. And what we find is by doing that, people maintain their motivation. They can see that they're achieving something every couple of weeks, and the additive effect that that has to take us on our journey to our ultimate vision.
I think what was really interesting is also you're describing the fact that a lot of what you do is not necessarily coding. We're not talking about IT changes. Tell us a little bit about you're doing really discovery work.
Yeah, so much of our work we run according to the government digital standards for digital transformation. So we will ultimately get to doing some coding, but at the moment we're in some of the earlier stages of that framework where we're doing discovery activities. So we're working out, really understanding the problem that needs to be fixed for our users, talking to users about that, capturing evidence. So, those tasks aren't coding, they are, business related tasks, understanding who our stakeholders are, who's going to be impacted. Yeah, and working through those tasks in this structured way shows, it works equally as well as for when you're, doing some actual coding as well.
Yeah, I think it just shows that an agile approach to understanding what the scope of the problem is, understanding who should be involved, and then almost every sprint, you're sort of bedding down. We've taken this decision, we've confirmed this. So we've now got this baseline, now we've confirmed this. So we've got this baseline, now we've confirmed this. And you're moving through from uncertainty to certainty with every sprint that you take.
Absolutely, and we do that within our framework, and many of the activities we do, particularly some of the change management ones, are repeated. It's, what do we know now? So let's develop a high level change plan, if you like, based around what we know now. And then as we move and we understand the problems, we understand the users, we develop solutions to those problems, we are able to then refine as we go. So, yes, we get enough information at the time to allow us to move on to the next piece, and then we iterate and we build, and then, we move on to the next stage.
Really helpful. I mean, these are always sort of short little clips, but what it's helping people to see is that others are really using this idea of the agile planning, the agile roadmap, and we're using it for motivation. We're not using it just for IT projects. Thanks very much, Joanna. Really
You're
helpful.
welcome. Thank you.